And we're back. Hi, everybody. How you doing? It's your buddy Uncle Bruce. We're here for the final hour of trading. The day is March the 14th. It's Monday, and we're here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the final hour. The market, as far as the big markets go, the Dow is off 11 points. It was down 120. It's now down 16 or so. Double check on that. 17-point drop right now. We got S&P down 31. We have NASDAQ down 238. That is the loser of the day, NASDAQ. 238 points, 1.86%. S&P is down 3/4 of a percentage point. The Dow is down 4/100ths of a percentage point. The Dow is actually trying to go positive. But the NASDAQ is taking the hit. And that's growth stocks. That's high PE multiple stocks, growth. That's where we live for a lot of our stocks that we follow. Oil down $7.46 to 101.87. We have touched already today 100. We've been under 100 today at one point in time. So that is where we're at. Now, stocks that we're following, oh my gosh, where do I begin? We are looking at Rocket Lab up 7 cents to 846. We're at SoFi is here at 790, down 64 cents. The low of the day, 774 on 65.5 million shares. GameStop is the loser of the day, $78 a share right at this moment in time. Low of the day, 77.58. Volume 3.6 million. We don't have 30 million coming in for sale. It's a slight volume, but it looks like everything went south around 1 o'clock this afternoon Eastern time, so 2 hours ago. The stock had been around 85.64 at the time, and it was still down on the day. It had been earlier this morning around the 90 mark, then it was 85, but then it's dropped off. And apparently Wedbush Securities, the analyst, has come out with a sell rating that was released during the day today with a $45 price target. Now, I don't know if that has changed all that much. It sounds to me like they've always been that low, so this is like nothing new. But pile it on a day like today, you got the perfect ingredient to get people upset and just throw in the towel and sell. And so that's what you have. People are selling GameStop 2 to 3 days before the earnings coming out. I'm surprised that the earnings, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I am not surprised, but I find it curious that the analyst would make an analyzation of the stock and make the recommendation to sell the stock 3 days before the company releases their financials. He's not even waiting. Now, if the Wedbush person has an inside track that the numbers are going to be terrible, well, they'll have to answer for that somehow, sometime. But what if the numbers aren't terrible? What if this Wedbush person is actually just trying to stick it to these guys for whatever reason? I don't know why. And the numbers come out on Thursday, and they're a surprise to the upside, and margins are improving, and the company comes up with news about what we're about, and it's much more positive than negative. Now what? Does this mean that we could be rallying back to $120 a share on Friday? This guy would really look like a moron, wouldn't he? I mean, I am finding it rather curious. Is that the word I should use? Suspicious, curious, odd, perplexed. Why would an analyst bring out a rating on a stock, a buy or sell rating, 3 days before the scheduled financials are coming out on the company? Vindictive, maybe? I don't know. I'm wondering. I'm just sitting here going, okay. So someone is selling, obviously. Someone's getting out of GameStop. Obviously, it's coming down. It's down to 78. The buyers, however, are not in a hurry to get in. And I suspect a lot of people weren't planning on buying GameStop today to average down. Sometimes these happen by surprise, and here we are. So anyway, there you have it. I do not know what to make of it. 78.50 is the last trade, down $14.19. Low of the day, 77.67 it would appear. 77.58, pardon me, is the low of the day, and that was just a few minutes ago. We're right here at the lows, and I have no other news to tell you about. There's nothing being said. This is not a Ukrainian war play stock. This has nothing to do with high inflation rates. This has nothing to do with supply chain problems in China. This has nothing to do with the shutdown of the Apple factory in China making products for Apple. I mean, GameStop has nothing to do with any of what's happening bad in the world. They're not an inflation creator. They're not going to be affected by inflation. It's just that's the only piece of news I got for you. That's all I can find. And you've found anything else on what anyone is saying on GameStop, you let me know. But I haven't seen anything else at this point in time. So GameStop 78.89 now pushing $79 down 13.80. AMC down at 13.50 down 80 cents, and it was as low as 12.92. But that was this morning, first thing this morning. That was the low. We haven't been that low since. We did get up to 14.15 around 10.15. But drifted off and now has come back into this 1350 range from about 1340 range. 28.2 million on AMC. That's not the reason GameStop is off. It's not AMC making it go down. So I don't know. Matterport, $6.66 a share right now, down 35 cents a share on a volume of 7.1 million. Over on ME, we're at $3.31 a share, down 35 cents on 5 million shares. The low today, 328. That was about an hour ago. And then Spire, unbelievable, 168 a share. This is new all-time lows. 162 was hit today, a few minutes ago. That's the low of all time. 168 right now, 2.1 million traded. I am at a loss why sellers are in a hurry to get out. The only thing I can pin it on is the momentum of the markets themselves, and people feel that the end is near. I don't believe it. They just came out with some their numbers last week, and it looks great. The company's growing and adding clientele and up their guidance, and doesn't matter today. It doesn't matter today, and I think that's the theme we got going here today. Doesn't matter today what you think and what you like. ATIP down 11 cents to 163. Smart Rent down 20 cents to $6 on the nose. Sextera down 40 cents to 11.33. Robinhood is down 33 cents. Vanik Vectors, full of chip companies that can't make chips fast enough for a dying customers, just wishing to get them. They're down 6.55. 2.39 on Vanik Vectors. The 52-week low is 2.22, so we're still $17 off of that, but I can't help it. Home Depot up 223. IBM down 21 cents. Microsoft down $1.52. Apple down 361 to 151.12. The high of the day was 154.12 around 11 o'clock, and we've given it up since then. If any of you written calls, as I suggested, you might want to look into, hopefully you're doing well. I hope so. Goldman Sachs down 215, got as high as 331 today. That was the opening, and then traded around 329 range, but now we're down to 324. The low of the day, 322.90. Cisco is down 40 cents. Facebook is up 143. Amazon down $67. Tesla down $31. Google down $62. Bed Bath Beyond down $1. BlackBerry down 29 cents. Royal Caribbean off 53 cents to 67.90. Target is up 97 cents. JP Morgan's up $1. There's one bank that's up where Goldman Sachs is down. Costco down $1.26. Walmart up $2.15. Strong showing on Walmart's part today. American Airlines up 15 cents. Lower oil, better for airlines and cruise lines. And Moderna up $13, holding at 151. There you have it. We are down 15 points on the Dow as we are hanging around the break-even plus 20, minus 20 area. We've got a 33-point drop on the S&P, down 0.79 of a percentage point, and we got NASDAQ off 247. No help from NASDAQ at the moment. Now, if the Dow wants to power up in the last hour, the Dow is going to have an up hour here. That could influence the rest of the market. I just don't know if that's going to happen. I don't see it. Anyway, there it is. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the channel this afternoon, the show. Thank you for letting me know what your thumbs up number is. I appreciate that. Michael, I got some more GameStop, 177.81. There you go. And I hope DFE is buying GameStop hand over fist. I've not heard from him lately. Yeah, I noticed that Noto got talked about. Noto, the CEO of SoFi, he got talked about on an article about how he's buying up stock as best he can with what cash he makes. The stock at so 792 down 63 cents. The low again on SoFi was 774 at about 130 today, and now we're at 791. So it's only a 14-cent recovery on 66 million shares. There are people selling for whatever the reasons are. They're selling, and that's it. Can't help them and can't stop them, and it is what it is. The Dow down now 10 points. That's it. The 30 biggest stocks in the USA, they're down 10 points combined. There's nothing serious happening on the Dow Jones Industrial, but S&P is down 32 and Nasdaq down 244. Again, I also shake my head about how higher interest rates are supposed to hurt stocks like Google, and they're supposed to hurt stocks like Amazon and Apple and Microsoft. I don't understand why, because these companies don't have debts. They don't owe a lot of money to the bond market, and they don't issue, when they do issue bonds, they're not junk. They're like top-notch corporate bonds. They borrow money against money they have, so they don't have to pay a tax bill, which is smart. They get to write off whatever interest they pay, which is virtually nothing, against earnings, so they don't pay taxes like that. That's a smart corporate move. They use the money to buy back stock, and you can bet that the lower these bank stocks go right now, the more stock being bought by the corporations themselves. They're buying it all up with all this excess cash. So that just swings to a higher high later. So okay, I'm trying to figure what's the thing with interest rates. Why would interest rates going up a quarter of a point, or for the whole year going up 1 percentage point, if the Fed funds rate a year from now is 2%? Whoop-de freaking do. You folks are gonna walk into a bank and talk to a banker about a home equity loan. You're gonna get a loan for 3% interest, 3.25. I don't see the problem here. Some of you who are deadbeats, there aren't very many of you who are deadbeats. I can't imagine prime rates being more than 4.5%, because the fight to lend money will be so fierce between financial institutions. You're all going to be offered all kinds of deals to please borrow money from us. The car companies are constantly going to come up with 0% financing, or 0.9%, or 1.1%. They'll come up with gimmicky, cheap money because it's free. Money is free. With inflation at 7 to 10%, and the prime rate going to go to 3-4 percentage points, money is cheap. Money is actually available for negative money, if that makes any sense to you. Because if you're getting paid at your employer and you can negotiate a 5% pay raise or 10% pay raise because of inflation, and your mortgage is 3%, you're borrowing money for less than the cost of living. So the amount you owe your banker, credit card company, student loans, whatever, you've borrowed that money on an inflation adjusted basis so many years ago. Going forward the next 3 years, inflation will add to our earnings potential, inflate value of our houses and other items because they become more expensive to replace. But the loan amount is dollars borrowed 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And so the actual amount of debt you have is less as a percentage of your earnings income. So all working Americans are going to be just fine. I don't see interest rates going to 18%. Again, I don't understand why the market is all jittery about an interest rate increase coming Wednesday. We all know it's coming. They told us it's coming. We've already adjusted for the fact that it's coming. It will make no difference to our lives. And today the market wants to sell off. There's your stock market sometimes. It's emotion. The stock market is run by greed and fear. It's a simple matter of one extreme to the other and all the middle points right in there. And there's the stock market for you. And those who react to fear, who become fearful, get taken to the cleaners each and every time. And those who are patient and just say, you know what? I need a phone tomorrow. I need a phone next week. I need to heat my house next week. I got to buy bread next month. My kids eat, all the time. These businesses aren't going anywhere. GameStop is not disappearing. My kid's going to want to play video games. So where's this company going? 4,000 locations around the world. Where are they going? They're not going anywhere. They'll be around. Sooner or later, it all kind of calms down. But once in a while you get a day like today with these irrational moves, and you just kind of you throw your hands up and you're going, I can't explain people's raw emotions on a particular stock at a particular moment for whatever the reason is. You have to let them, show them the door. Here's the exit. Take it. I mean, if you need fresh air, get out there and breathe. It's okay. The rest of us will be fine in here. We'll be okay. We'll see you later. See you in the intermission. I don't know. Daniel, Uncle Bruce, does SoFi have any money set aside to do share buybacks? I'm guessing not, but I'd like to nice shorters get some pressure. No, they don't. They're not going to do buybacks. They're never, never in this kind of a scenario would they ever consider doing buybacks. I just don't see it. There's no need for them to buy back. You don't use capital that you're using to build your company up in size to buy back stock. What you do is you do what Apple does. You invested your dough over the last 30 years to build the juggernaut that it is. You've got virtually no debt to speak of as far as operational debts or anything like that. You might have a mortgage here or a call loan there, but you don't have structural debt. This company is a cash generating machine, a mature cash generator. They have 150 billion cash all over the world, and whenever they do issue bonds, as in debt, they issue it against the stock that they've got, so that they don't have to repatriate the money. Amazon does it, but Microsoft is doing it. Google is doing this. All the like the big, very profitable entities are all doing this. They're all cash rich. They're the ones who are doing stock buybacks from excess cash or from profits, net profits, after tax paid profits. They have extra cash after dividends, after everything. That's the money they use to buy back stock. And the maximum you're allowed to buy is 5% of the number of shares outstanding per year. That's how much you're limited to. So if you have 100 million shares outstanding, you're only allowed to buy 5 million shares per year. That's the SEC rule, unless you go to the shareholders for a specific special vote that you have to bring to the shareholders. Then you might offer like a Dutch auction, where you might offer you call and you do a redemption for up to a third of all the shares. Let's just suppose, I'm just making this up. So if you've got 1 billion shares out there and the company wants to buy back 333 million of them, they'll put an offer out to all shareholders. We're prepared to pay you this much money, a set amount, for up to 333 million shares of the company. Anyone who wants to take advantage of this deal, please fill in your little form that your broker will give you, and just text it to us or email it to us, and then we'll buy your stock from you. Well, whenever companies do that, the shares are always trading at a higher price than that. So no one ever takes advantage of those deals. If the company's willing to pay me $10 a share, it's going to trade at 11. Because if the company is prepared to pay me 10, why would I give it to them for 10? The street's paying me 11. I'm not going to give it to the company for 10. What am I, an idiot? Not going to do it. So no, the company will not put an offer in. They will not try to buy back their own stock whatsoever. This stock has got to find itself. This stock has to find its level of support, has to find its resistance levels. It has to shake out hard, like just shake them out, get rid of loose-handed investors. Get them out of there. And one way to do it, stock goes down in price and it scares them off. And that's it. And the good news is the lower the shares get, the cheaper the shares are to buy. You can get rid of millions of more shares for a lot less money, the lower it goes. I don't know how many shares of SoFi need to be offloaded out of shaky hands. I have no idea. I don't know if it's 10 million shares, 20, 100, 200 million, 300 million. I have no idea. But whoever's getting out and is getting shook out. And today it's 60 million. 67 million shares today have traded. Does that mean 30 million got shook out today and the other 30 million is just turnover? I don't know. But a number of you are picking up cheap stock and saying, thank you very much, may I have another? And why not? Buy it. Adam, Uncle Bruce, have you read about or talked about the major banks losing boatloads of money for overexposure involved in Russian Chinese stocks? Yes, I have, and I do all the time. And I want to, again, mention it like I did this morning, and I'll mention it again today. Banks are very Banks and the management of banks are managed by very smart people. If you are the president of a bank and you are on the board of directors of a bank and you are any kind of a top 10, top 20 senior executive of a bank, you are really smart. You are very good with money. You are understand every nuance of the business that there is to understand. All right. You will forget more. These people will forget more than we will ever know. All right. That's how good these guys, people, these kids are. These kids are 30, 50, 70, some are 80s, tons of experience. And they hire consultants who are just as smart as these people and are experts in certain areas of banking and finance for advisory services. And one of the areas that all banks have advisory services in is offshore lending and third country or other country lending. Like you're a US bank and you want to help fund a deal in Moscow. You're a bank in Turkey and you want to fund deals in the UK. You're a Swiss bank and you want to do a deal in Liechtenstein or Germany. They have consultants for every possible scenario, including this right here: exposure to China and Russia. What these banks do not do is they are not gamblers like riverboat gamblers. They're not like that at all. They're very conservative and they're very methodical and they're very conservatively oriented. And the one thing they'll do is they won't take on an entire deal for themselves if they get involved in a project. For example, if you're going to help the funding of a skyscraper being built in Moscow, and it's a $300 million building with parking structures and a shopping mall all around it, and and whatever. The bank might be involved in it, but only to the tune of 5%. So they've got a $15 million exposure in a $300 million deal. But even that is insured. They take insurance. This is what the derivatives market is all about. That's why it's there. The derivatives market is an insurance market. The options market, writing stock options, is an insurance market. You who are writing options are in the insurance business because you're collecting premiums. That's what you get. You're getting premiums to offer your stock for sale to gamblers. You're offering them a form of insurance. For a fraction of the price of the item, they can take advantage of the move of the item. A banker will buy insurance. They will buy insurance on a bond, on a loan that they have. It's also not uncommon where Citibank, for example, will take a $100 million piece of a $300 million project. Then they'll take that 100 million and split that off into 20 units of 5 million each. And then they'll add $5 million from this project in Austria. And they'll take another bunch of money from a project in Australia and another project in Belgium and another project in Canada. And then they'll offer $50 million baskets of investments to their clients. And in effect, they offload the $100 million deal in Moscow, the $100 million in Brussels, the $100 million in Ottawa, the $100 million in Tampa, $100 million in Rio de Janeiro, and they're splitting it up into fractions and selling it to pension funds around the world, hedge funds around the world, ETFs, mutual funds. And the bank, in effect, is just a middleman packaging together deals that can range from a $500,000 investment up to a $20 million chunk of an investment in dozens of projects that are all lumped into one big fund. And it's then split out. But the pension fund that buys that fund, okay, I've taken you now from a building in Moscow, divvied up into small pieces, put it in with a whole bunch of other stuff, and split it all over the place. A mutual fund owns a $5 million, a $10 million chunk of a deal that Citi put together. And in that $10 million is $500,000 in a building going up in Moscow. Okay, that's how small it gets. This pension fund buys insurance on that fund, derivatives. So they're buying insurance on the fund not going under, and the fund is made up of 50 deals all over the planet. This is what it's all about. This is how institutions protect themselves. That's why the derivatives market is a multi-trillion dollar beast that exists. And so, yeah, there are going to be billions of dollars lost in Russia from the Russia stuff. Yeah, of course. It's going to be spread out over tens of trillions of dollars of assets all over the world, including derivatives to protect it. And so, yeah, 5% of the fund that you have is rotten, is garbage. 95% of the fund pays, but you're insured for the whole fund anyway. And this is how the world continues on without allowing Russia in. Where Russia will pay the price is not necessarily on the building that was funded to build it. Where Russia will pay dearly is the fact that the landlord in Russia will try to lease out the 15th floor of the 40-story structure. The 15th floor is 150,000 square feet, and they can't find a renter for it because it used to be that it would have been a Swedish company, maybe a German company, a Finnish company, a company from a company from another country opening up an office in Moscow could have gone into that building in that 15th floor and the 16th floor and the 17th floor, and the landlord can't get anyone to rent. And so the landlord has these debts, these IOUs to their lenders, and the lead lender, the coordinating bank that borrows all the money, collects all the interest, and then divvies it all out, is a Russian bank. And the Russian banker is stuck because you got a landlord, you got an owner that can't pay the rent, can't pay the mortgage. And now the bank in Russia can't pay the mortgage money off into the funds that they owe it to. And there's the problem. And again, this building has been sliced into 1,000 pieces by the time it's all said and done. There is no one lender for the whole thing. That's usually how this works. Just to help you. I hope that explains it, Adam. I hope that makes sense. Nicholas, if Noto is doing it, I can do it too. Buying $15 of SoFi every day until it hits $15. Well, there you go. Why not? Just pick it up. Joanne, Nation Videos, when did the president talk about this warning, the World War III warning? I think he talks about it all the time. Spreader, Uncle Bruce, due to the GameStop earnings thing, how was it with the shops in the last 3 months? Because maybe the Christmas shopping still could have an effect on GameStop earnings. Well, I heard it was okay. I hadn't heard anything negative about the GameStop stores. What I heard about is what we've talked about here a lot, and that is the conversion of the company into an e-commerce machine, which is well underway, and also now NFT and crypto business and that area. They made a deal with this Australian company with $100 million investment. There's a lot going on GameStop, much more than meets the eye. Wedbush has their opinion. God bless Wedbush. Good luck to you guys. I don't know if there's any investors in Wedbush that own any of this stuff. I honestly don't know. But we know, and those of you who've been with me now for a year, you are very well aware that there might be 8, 7 different analysts out there that cover GameStop, and only one likes it. And that was Jefferies and Company. They were the only broker that ever gave the stock a buy. Everyone else just gave it a hold or a perform rating. And as you know, many companies out there, many analysts out there gave the stock a target price of $19, even though they were worth $25 in cash. This $45 rating, I mean, this is a joke. I mean, you take the $1.5 billion in cash that they last reported, and you divide that into the 70 odd million shares outstanding. And we're talking about $20 a share in cash. The entire company is worth $25 a share, is what this guy's saying, apart from the cash. Well, not very realistic, but hey, I'm not Wedbush. I'm not going to be Wedbush. I don't apologize for them, and I don't make excuses for them. They are what they are. They're doing what they're doing, and that's the end of it. And if the company comes up with a report on Thursday night that shows there's progression in the right direction for the company, then Wedbush comes off looking like morons. And hey, you come off looking like a moron. Sorry, they come off. What can I say? Splair, here in Germany, I experienced always full GameStop stores, especially now when you can shop without a COVID test. The odds of possibilities to be safe. Hey, all from Larry Titus. How you doing, buddy? Hi there, buddy. Everyone's saying hi to him. Scott, food for thought. The average length of time a stock was held in 2021 was 8 months. Hi there, Larry. Wow. Good afternoon, Bagel Gang from Nelson. Peskin, what's it? Pesky Chicken has become a member. I kind of like that name. That's pretty good. Welcome, Pesky Chicken, to the family. Chilling with Uncle Bruce member. Nice to have you here. Fantastic. Welcome to the party, pal. It's nice to see you. And Nick shorted Apple. Market giveth profit. Nicketh buyeth SoFi GameStop with that profit. Way to go, Nick. Way to make money, man. That's great. Hi there, Pesky says 99 Nations. Nancy, I have a stink bid in on 5 more shares of GameStop. Wish I had more powder. Well, there you go. Charlie, Uncle Bruce, many of the GameStop execs were brought in when the stock was 150 bucks or so. And they're being paid in stock, partially, yes. I don't hear of those except jumping ship with the price down so much. Meaning anything? Yeah, that's true. These employees are being paid a base, some kind of a salary, and then they're being paid in stock. The longer they're there. Now, a number of them are being given stock options, and they are likely upside down on the options. So they're under no obligation to buy stock from the company at 150 if it's trading at 80. So some are being given stock in a performance kind of way, but at set values. And so I've heard from 120 to 175, something like that. It varies, right, Charlie? I agree. But they're not leaving in en masse at all. No. John, Uncle Bruce, dropping knowledge. Love it, man. Thanks, buddy. Zach, them companies finished all right. Big B, hi, Uncle B. I'm number 101. Thumbs up. Thank you, Big B. Now, what is this? Fatitius Frank has become also a Chillin' with Uncle Bruce member of the channel. Welcome to the group. Welcome to the party, pal. Nice to have you here as well. Just love seeing these green banners show up when you folks become members. It's beautiful. 2 days from now, on Wednesday, we celebrate our first anniversary of memberships of this channel. It was on March the 16th of last year that we began to offer officially the opportunity for people to become members of this channel. And looking forward to day after tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. Splair, yeah, but the cryptos and NFTs are all down actually too since the stocks were falling, so that's not my diamond to hope for right now. Well, I look at it this way. It doesn't matter what crypto's trading at. It doesn't matter what an NFT goes for. The secret to GameStop's success will be on the margin that they earn on the item. So if someone is acquiring an NFT item through GameStop's system, they get a cut of the action. So, okay, so the item is lower, but they still get a cut of the action. It's kind of like a Visa, the Visa credit card company. You buy an item for $19.99, Visa gets a 1% from the retailer or 4%, whatever that is. You buy a $200 item somewhere else, it's 4% of that. You go to a casino in Las Vegas and watch the Beatles show Love. Drop 4 tickets for $600. You pay 4% of that goes to the Visa company. It doesn't matter to Visa. Whatever you want to buy it on. Well, this is the same with GameStop. It's not a question of what the NFT is worth or what the crypto is going for. It's the spread that GameStop gets. That's the secret to making money. This is where GameStop has no risk. They don't have to own NFTs and try to resell them. They're just the middleman offering you a place to do the transaction with. I like it. No inventory. It's all digital. I like this thing. Anyway, there you go. Let's see. Charlie C., not a GameStop exec, double down on his position in the 150s. H. Gregory and Bruce, do you think a $15 March 18th is a safe, out-of-the-money covered call for AMC? Okay, AMC is at 1355. Doing an oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah, go knock yourself out. Yeah, knock yourself out. 15. Go ahead. Take the premium. Take it. Good afternoon, everybody from Verde. Jason, Uncle Bruce. I'm finally here. What did I miss? Nothing going on. Just nothing happening. Don't worry about it. Jeff, GameStop at this level is insane. Shorters out in force and scared of the earnings report. Charlie Coyote, I agree. Foticius Frank, sorry I ever laughed. Back for your words of wisdom and reason. Nice to have you here, my friend. Credit Savage, good afternoon, my fellow simpletons. Holy moly, what a bloodbath today! I knew this would happen since all weekend we for tons of FUD bought some ARC option $74 option calls for 91 cents. SB for July. It triggered. It triggered. Okay. Mirko, I'm not thumbs on number 118. Hiya, Frank from Nation Videos. Jen, why are all of our old SPACs so low? Why? From the pennies on my bank account aren't going down. That's something. Coyote, Spire down 20%. What the? Hey, credit. I can't believe my 2004 Leaps cover call I wrote are going to touch 50% soon if this market keeps up. This is crazy. Jeff Rumbler, well, with inflation at 7%, they're now worth 93% of a penny. What a penny could have bought you earlier. So there you go. 99. Nation, you can't eat your NFT, even if it's 50 shades of the same cartoon banana. Nicholas, Cody, it's got to be worth less than cash value by now. What a bargain. Nancy is here. Laugh out loud, Splair. Just noticed you swapped out your bagel for a little critter. Nice pet. Splair, yes, as soon as they start off this NFT stuff, it would be great that they participate in it. With that, I agree. But for the earnings, it's nothing that would help right now, I guess. Coyote Nicholas, I believe it at this point. Wild Mountain Seeds is here. Do you think we will get a positive catalyst with institutional shorts closing their hedges this week? I have no idea. I could not say. So yeah, I made a picture of my Daegu because he's always on the move here when I try to have patience. Facetious Frank, I'm crying into my SoFi 15 July 15s. Spur, thanks, Nancy. There you go. All righty. So we're down 54 on the Dow right now. We're off 40 on the S&P, and we're down 283 on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ's down 2.2%. S&P's down 0.95 of a percentage point, and the Dow's off 0.17 of a percentage point. We've got GameStop right now at 78.32, down 14.37. The low of the day has been 77.58. And we're just slumping along. We did get over 80 for a bit, but now we're under again. And that is the story on GameStop today. The volume was 4 million shares. That's it. Rocket Lab all day just does not want to be down. All day, Rocket Lab has wanted to be in the green. It is up 6 cents, 8.46. Nothing great, but it's just not coming down. SoFi at the moment, $7.89 off 66 pennies. The low of the day, 7.74. So we're 14 cents or so from the low on 69.8 million volume. AMC down 76 cents to 13.54. Matterport is down 40 cents to 6.62. And this is about the low if I got my bearings right. Yeah, 6.61 is the low. We're right there right now. 7.6 million. We have MEAT at 3.27 a share, down 38 cents today. 5.5 million. This is the low of the day. We've got Spire at 164.5, and that is about the low. 162 is the low. 2.3 million traded today on Spire, down 37 cents to 164. Just getting hammered today. ATIP down 13 cents at 160.5 pennies. The low of the day, low of all time probably, on 1.28 million. Smart Rent 594, down 26 cents. Low of the day 593 on 963,000. Sixtera 1133, down 40 cents. Low of the day 1126 on 200,000 shares at this moment in time. Robinhood down 40 cents. Bannock Vectors down 7.54. Home Depot up 2.38. IBM is down 17 cents. Microsoft down 3.38. Apple down 4.13 at 1.50 a share. Goldman Sachs down 2.71. Cisco down 50 cents. Facebook is down 64 cents. Amazon down $76. Tesla down 36 bucks to $7.60 now. Google $77 lower at 25.32. Bed Bath Beyond down 94 cents to 19.05. It got as low as 18.34. It's come back to 19.05. BlackBerry is 5.93 now, down 31 cents. Royal Caribbean down 55 cents to 67.88. Oil is still at 101.44, down 7.89. Target up $1.29. JP Morgan up 96 cents. Costco down to 170. Walmart up $2. And that's it there. That's kind of what we're looking at. A 42-point drop on the Dow right now. And now it's down 10 points. We just jumped 32 points like that on the Dow. We're down 10 points. There it is. It is a very volatile market here. And let's go here. 38-point drop on S&P. Nasdaq down 266. That's what I'm watching. It's what I'm following for you today. It is a wild one. My 751 SoFi stink bid almost hit, but not quite. 786 right now. Didn't quite get it. Close. Way to go, Austin. Austin, I'm number 133 on the thumbs up meter. Phone. Anyone who bought the call is wiped out. DQ. That is why, if I stand on my head, my portfolio looks really good. Coyote, that's why we stay away from buying calls right now. Phone, DQ is laughing out loud. Phone. I made a mistake buying call half a year ago, lost over 20 grand. Mr. T, hello, Uncle B, number 101. Given the big drop in earnings coming with GameStop, what is the price trigger for writing covered calls? What should we do? Well, you can write covered calls anytime you want, at any price you want to write them, for any length you wish, obviously. Depending on what's available to be written, of course. I recommend, if you're going to write calls, you want to write calls that have good volume, have a good open interest, and are out of the money and give you a fat premium where you can see shrinkage coming your way, where even if you're wrong and the shares recover a bit, your contracts will still shrink out because they're too far out of the money for the option buyer to make any money off of you. Of course, if you write a call and the market moves above your strike price and you now have an in-the-money scenario, you're always able to do rollovers as long as you're not exercised, obviously. So what to do? Well, GameStop is $78.86 right now. You could write $80 calls for Friday. I mean, you could. I personally wouldn't recommend it. I think the stock off $13.80 a share, I think there's a $10 rebound here at any time. But hey, I haven't seen it all day. I mean, you heard me this morning when I was telling you about the stock in the 93 range, thinking, if this goes into the 100 range, you want to write 100s. Well, it didn't go to 100 today, did it? Didn't do that. It hit 94.32, and that was pretty well the opening. And we haven't been up since. Did I know GameStop was doing this today? No, not at all. But here we are. We're at $78. So theoretically, you could write an $80 call for Friday. You can write an $80 call for next Friday. You can write an $85 for next Friday. You could write a $90 for 3 Fridays from now. You could write a $100 call for 3 months from now, bring in some premium money, and just sit there and do this and go, okay, well, I just brought in some bucks. I'll just sit on this cash. And if these shares can't get to 100 in the next couple of weeks, these calls that I just wrote will just do this. I'll take the money because I'm not selling my stock. Now, of course, if you do write calls against your GameStop, and if you're wanting to buy GameStop down here because you believe that this is not a very often coming around opportunity to pick it up this cheap, you could theoretically write $100 calls, 110s, 120, 125s, 150s for a year out. You could write 150 calls for 2 years out and bring in a bunch of cash, buy up all the stock you can at $78.59 right now with that money, and write calls on those shares if you can get more than 100, obviously. So it depends on how many shares you have and how you want to play this. So it's totally up to you. I mean, if you want to write January 2024 calls on your GameStop shares, January 24 calls, a $100 call right now, you want to offer $100 calls on your GameStop, you can get $33 to $38 for a January 2024 call. I mean, that's obviously a year and 3 quarters away from now. But theoretically, if you have 1,000 shares, just suppose, you wrote 10 of these things, you'd bring in, let's say you brought in 3,600 a contract, you'd bring in $36,000. And you could take that $36,000 and try to buy as many shares at 78 as you can. and that'll get you what 100 shares of 7,800. So you get about 500 shares. Is that right? Yeah, 7,800 times 5, 35,000. Yeah, so you get 500 more shares. You'd write 5 more calls for 30 something a piece again, and you'll bring in another bunch of yeah. So you could do that. Talk about adding to your position. I mean, if you have 200 shares of GameStop right now, and you wrote 2 calls, just 2 calls. These are 100s for January 19th, 2024. You wrote 2 $100 calls at 35 each. You'd bring in $7,000. You could right now buy just about with $7,000. You could almost buy another 100 shares. You need $800 more dollars, and you'd buy 100 more, and you could write a call against it right away, and bring in another $3,500. You could do that, and you'd up your position by 50%. The problem is you've sold it at 100. You've locked yourself into a $100 price. So if it goes beyond 100, you won't get more than that, other than this $35 premium you just received that you bought more stock with. Now, if you want to write $150 calls for the January 2024, you could bring in probably $27, $28, which I'd recommend you do. Rather than write the 100s, you write the 150s. So you write the 150s and bring in $2,800 a contract. If you can do 10 of those with 1,000 shares, that's $28,000 coming in. Pick off about 400 more shares of GameStop, write 4 more contracts again, and you've reduced your cost dramatically, because you may have a 150 average now. You're buying 400 more shares on top of the 1,000 you got. You just brought your average down into the 120, 110 range. And with that second right, 4 more contracts at 25 a piece or whatever this was, 27, 28, you're bringing in another 10 grand. You can buy another 100 shares, and you can write another contract against it. So you can definitely increase your holdings by 50%, right? Now, if every shareholder of GameStop, just think about this. If every shareholder of GameStop that was watching my show with 100 shares or more immediately went ahead and did that, wrote $150 contracts, and then bought all the stock you can get at $78 a share, there could be 300,000 shares of GameStop hanging around here. And you guys could buy 150,000 more shares of GameStop down here. If there's 1 million shares of GameStop on this channel, you could buy 500,000 more shares of GameStop today by doing this strategy between now and the close in 13 minutes. You'd run this market. I mean, you'd run it. Now, if you did this over the next 3 or 4 days, which of course I'd recommend you consider doing if you were to do it, you sell the calls tonight or tomorrow, bring in the cash, and slowly pick off the stock and just buy it up and buy. Well, obviously, if 10 million shares of GameStop were out there and options were written on 10 million shares of GameStop at various strike prices and various options, and that money went into the stock, the market would go back to 110 just on the momentum of buying power. I mean, that's 5 million shares of buying power coming in, just to give you an idea of how powerful the options market could be. So, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to play this. There's no one way or another. Sprayer, Uncle Bruce, with your experience, would you guess too that oil drops more here from the $100 line? At least that's my guess. Yeah, I'm of the opinion that the big shock is over. What else is going to happen now with Ukraine? They're going to bring in another 500 tanks. So they're going to have more airstrikes. Yeah. They're going to hit a maternity wing of a hospital. Yeah. Tell me what they haven't done. Well, they haven't done chemical weapons. And they haven't done nuclear weapons. And okay, I get you, the really crazy extreme. But the Russians are slowly but surely winning their war. But what have they won? Rubble and people who've abandoned town. Congratulations, Russia. You got territory that people have walked away from because they're not going to stay under you guys. The oil could go down. Oil could go to $85 a barrel. Yeah, absolutely it could. You never know. Nancy got 5 shares. GameStop 78.14. I hope the Thursday meeting is better than the past few. I believe RC can speak now. He can speak now. That's true. He can speak now. I wish I wrote calls. Sheesh, this market is very afraid of GameStop earnings. Like, who actually selling leading into earnings? Exactly. It's exactly what I keep asking. Why would you be selling out with the earnings just about to come out? Really? Nicholas, losses are only realized when you sell. Losses are only realized when you sell. Losses are only realized when you sell. Coyote, Jeff, I wish I didn't buy my calls back early. Profit is profit, but I didn't foresee this. Just remember, GameStop earnings Thursday. Jen Doe, that was a serious question. Why are all of our old SPACs so low? Do we ever think we'll come back up? I'm holding, but will it take be 5 years before this will pay out? Well, it's a very good question, and the answer to this question is multiple. It's multifold. By the way, the Dow's down 2 points, just so you know. Now it's down 52, so we're jumping all over the place here. What we have here are 8 different companies for SPACs, the former SPACs. We have Rocket Labs, SoFi, Matterport, ME, Spire, ATIP, SmartRent, Sextera. There's the 8. Okay, they're all different management, different head offices, different locations, different businesses, different financials, different everything. What do they have in common? They're in a leading edge of a they're in the leading edge of a business or a technology that is up and coming. They are groundbreakers. The only stock I would look at here that is traditional in any kind of a way would be ATIP, Physiotherapy Center. I mean, that's not like a high tech new thing. It's been around a while. I went to physiotherapy centers back in the 90s, late 90s. I mean, so it's not new, but it's always necessary to have physiotherapy centers because as long as there are human beings, there will be people that will need physiotherapy from time to time. So it's a question of how you deliver the service, I suppose. And I like the way they plan to do it. But with Rocket Lab going into outer space, SoFi managing satellites, Matterport digitizing real estate. I mean, this is digitizing retail, digitizing resorts, digitizing insurance policies. Oh my gosh, this huge. ME, the creation of drugs. My God, what an incredible business this is. Spire, Spire Global. My gosh, unbelievable. SoFi, of course, banking, fintech banking, and Spire managing satellites. ATIP physical therapy, SmartRent, the future of managing real estate. Without question, you must have a SmartRent system if you're going to be a landlord of the future. Without it, you will lose to the competition. And Sextera, data processing. I mean, these 8 companies are not going out of business. They're not in failing markets. They're not trying to do something where, for example, I remember watching the one movie with Danny DeVito, Managing Other People's Money, I think it was called, where he talked about the last buggy whip company that was in existence was the best of them all. Because as buggies phased out and cars came in, there was still a manufacturer of buggy whips, the one survivor of dozens of companies that made buggy whips. These guys had it perfected, and even they lost it all because people stopped riding buggies full time. They found other ways to go. None of these companies are in the buggy whip business. None of these companies are about to be extinguished with modern technology. They are modern technology. And so for us as investors, we're hanging on while the world is, having its little moment, hissy fit. And we're hanging on while shareholders of these companies who expected really fast returns to spectacular amounts in a hurry are walking away, licking their wounds now. Some of these are really getting wiped out. And we're to the point where as these days go by, these stocks run out of sellers. They just will plain run out of panicked sellers because there won't be any left. And the lower the shares go, the closer to the end we are for these guys, which turns the page now because shareholders of these companies going forward are forward thinkers. And all shareholders of, for example, Spire or ATIP, the 2 worst performers I'm going to concentrate on right now, 161 or 179 a share. By the time the last of the sellers gets out of these stocks, these are the $10 buyers that I'm talking about, the pipe finance buyers. They put the money into the treasury of these companies. They can't get their money back. They can only sell their stock at 16 cents on the dollar, 18 cents on the dollar, and they're out of here. They're gone. Once they're gone, we turn the page, and the only shareholders left are people that bought their stock from them at probably an average of between $2 and $4 a share, $5 a share. I'll bet you that once those two shares reach $5, $6 again, that 95% of the shareholders who hold those shares are up on the stock. They're all up because they've all averaged down. You're still here. If you're still here, it is unlikely you didn't buy more. You did buy more, and I've encouraged you to do so, and I continue to encourage you to do so. Steal this stuff. Bring your average down to the lowest possible price possible, and wait this thing out, because we're going to turn the page and now move to the next phase of these companies' existences. Now, how long will it take for them to go to $10 is the question. Are we talking about 5 years? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think these companies are all bringing out reports where they're showing growth. They're all showing growth. They're all showing virtually no debt. They're all showing cash on hand to do deals with. They're all going to get larger, corporately larger, and they're going to do more business in their business as they're evolving it. And there will come a point in time where we will have one of our stocks, like an ATIP or maybe a Spire. It'll go up $1.50 in one day. It'll go from like 175 to 325. And you'll go, wow, went to 325. Look at that. And a week later, it's at 4.25. And you go, wow, it went from 175 to 4.25 in like 3 weeks. Look at that. Wow. And we just slowly build from there. That's where I think we're headed. We just have to be like Warren Buffett. We just have to let it go. We have to just go, all right, there's a war in Ukraine. I get it. Interest rates are being raised by the Fed. Okay, I get it. Inflation is a little higher than we like. I get it. Supply chain problems are all over the place. I get it. But Spire is managing satellites in space. They're not dealing with these problems. They don't have to deal with those problems. Spire doesn't seem to have issues hiring people either. They're not on a shortage of employees. They're not in a position where they can't find office space. They're not in a position where they can't get office furniture for their office. They're doing fine. They're growing, and they're upping their guidance. You, as an investor, have to do this and go, all right, I'll take it. I'll take all this abuse. I'll take the suffering, but I'm going to keep buying this stuff as it comes down. I'm going to keep buying this stuff up. I'm going to bring my average down, because it's going to get to the point where if this thing drops enough and it goes back to 354, I'm already making money on it. And it goes to 6 or 7 or 8, now you're doubled your money on it. And it goes to 9, 10, or 12, you've tripled your money on it. Well, there might be the odd shareholder who's held it at 10, never bought any more, bought it at 10, held it at 10, and when it gets to 12, they're up $2 a share. And you are up $8 a share on a ton of this stuff. One of you is doing well, and one of you is doing really well. Welcome to the really well party, but you got to get into the show. You got to hang around. It's not fun, though. I agree. You think it's fun having me talk to you about this every day? This isn't fun, but this is what I got to do because I've been around long enough to see this again and again and again and again and again. By the way, we're up 19 on the Dow. We're up down 30 on S&P. We're down 265 on NASDAQ. Come on, Dow. Now the Dow's down 3 points, just to make me a liar. Merco, Mr. T, I wrote 95s and 98s on GameStop for Friday around $7. Bought them back today with a 70% profit. Wrote $90 calls today, which are up over 50%. I'm closing in before Wednesday. Now, that is called writing. That is aggressive writing. And look, this can be done on any stock at any time, any way you want. The stock's 78.08. Mr. T is taking money off the table. And Mr. T is just bringing cash in, and he's going to do it again. And he's going to do it again. Now, if he buys more GameStop down here to write another contract, more power to Mirko on this. Jeff, I've been staying away from writing all last week because I foresaw a run-up. Dang, could have made a grip selling $80 calls. Holy moly. Got 25 GameStop at $78. Bingo. Kareem, I wrote 90s in the money this morning, bought back at 80, wrote 80s in the money, bought back at 78, made $2,000, played the low delta, baby. Let's go. Austin, SoFi tickles 751 today, and I'll buy the next round. There you are. We're at 792, unfortunately. SoFi is not going down, it's going up. Crazy is it is this low. I agree. Karim, nice job. My next pair, Spire, just jumped 14 cents. We're at Spire right now. It's 169, down 33 cents. We did pop just a moment ago a little higher. It did just try to hit 179. And I think are we closed now? Are we done? Yeah, I think we're done for the day. I'm so excited talking about what's going on. I forgot to even notice it. Larry, are we? Yeah, Larry's rung the bells. We're done for the day. How about that? So Spire closed at 169 and a half, down 32 cents. The low was 162 and closed at 169 and a half. Let's take a look at our final quotes. We've got the Dow up 0.59 of a point, virtually unchanged. Rocket Lab up 14 cents to 853. SoFi to 793, down 62. GameStop 7807, down 1462. AMC 1356, down 74. Matterport 664, down 37. ME down 38 cents to 328. Spire down 32 cents, 169 and a half. ATIP 160, down 13 cents. Smart Rent 602, down 18. Sixera 1130, down 43 cents. Every one of them was red except for Rocket Lab. There you have it when it's all said and done. After hours performance, if there's anything going on here, Rocket Lab is down a penny at 852. SoFi is up a penny at 794. GameStop up $1.43 to $79.50 on GameStop. AMC 1365 up 9 cents. Matterport 665 up a penny. ME 329 up a penny. Spire unchanged. ATIP unchanged, no trades. Smart Rent 601 down a penny. Sixtera unchanged at 1130, no changes. There's our markets as we're going in. At the end of the day, the only winner was Home Depot up 171. I got Target up $1.70, JP Morgan up $1.25, Walmart up 196. I got Twitter up a penny. I got American Airlines up 23 cents. Moderna up 11.80 to 150 a share. And those are the only greens that I can make note of for you at this point when it's all said and done. There it is. There's our day. There's our dealio. And, that's it. Thank you a lot for sharing your thoughts. Blair, you got it. Wow, just rolled. I just nailed 784 shares of GameStop. I just nailed it. My SoFi 770 a bit hit earlier, and brought my cost basis down to 1450. Right on. Uncle Bruce, would that January 24 covered call writing strategy you came up with work for me as well? Yeah, yes and no. There's a yes and no answer to this question because on the one hand, you would bring in substantial dollars. Obviously, if you wrote, say, the 150s, you would bring in, a ton of dough. And if you had a use for that dough, which we know about, there you are. On the other hand, if you are a short-term writer and you're bringing in $3 here, $5 here, $2 here, $4 here, so that adds up to kind of what you're looking at here. So I like the short-term plan, of course, but that's something always worth considering, of course. About Spire at the low. Thanks for the tip, Nicholas saying to Gowdy. Beach Boy, maybe worth looking into tomorrow. Worth always looking into. I mean, look, the stock tomorrow pops up to 88. We can talk about writing 90s for Friday or the Friday after, or 95s for 3 weeks out. There's always that. Let's see. Uncle Bruce, did the Wedbush critique of GameStop say no guidance will be offered? It didn't say anything. I don't have any details. I only have the headline. Credit Savage Beach Boy. I came up with that strategy weeks ago when I saw reports of rates being raised 50 basis points and with possible conflicts and slowed production. Sold leaps, and they're almost at 40%. Credit Savage looking to buy back those contracts before SoFi's earnings call in June. Thumbs ups for Uncle Bruce. Thank you, LL. Regardless of the earnings report, GameStop is still a wonderful company to own, regardless of any short squeeze. Too, Hector, Uncle Bruce, don't contract carpal tunnel syndrome from holding all of our hands so tightly. Larry, time to put this market out of its misery. Mr. T, Mirko, thank you and glad you are making money today, says Mr. T to Mirko. 99 Nation videos completely struck still as a stone, staring at everything today. Liz, what should I buy? Nicholas, thanks, Larry. Do the work that has to be done. Slayer, have a good night, y'all. I try to take sleep before the market opens tomorrow. Again, hour earlier for Europe than usual. And thank you, Slayer, for being here. Thank you, all of you, for being here today. It's been great to have you. It looks like a final count on the Dow. It was up at 1 point after all that computer buying and selling. Just a crazy, crazy day. And we're through another crazy day of trading. What can I say? BW, 7 of 8 SPACs now below $8. They'll all go below 5 before summer. Maybe go on vacation for a month, Uncle Bruce, and stop talking these stocks, and maybe they'll go up. Maybe, most of us have been out of powder for months. Uncle Bruce, can't keep buying. Our losses are mounting. Emotions are now in charge. Markets suck. Truth be told, I hate GameStop as a company, but other people like it. It's a money tool for me. Nelson, good night, Uncle B and everybody. Sorry for cursing again, Uncle Bruce. That's okay, BW. It's all fine. Again, this is the emotion that's part of the market. This is what it's all about. These emotions are there with everybody. And the lower the markets go, the more frustrated people get, the more irrational they start to become. And this is where the rational ones do this. They go, okay, you crazies, go freak out. Go crazy and sell your stuff and throw in the towel. I'm not giving up. I'm not walking away. No way am I walking away, because when the turnaround comes, I'm the guy with the stock that is hung on through all that crap and averaged down. I'm the winner, and that is the deal here. There will be a minority of winners and a majority of losers, and you got to be part of the winning side. That's it. That's all there is to it. Thank you, everybody. How are we doing here? We have 166 thumbs ups. I guess I can't complain. I mean, after all, on a down day like today, to have 166 thumbs ups, every single stock's in the red except Rocket Lab. I can't complain. Thank you, all of you who are able to throw a thumbs up our way. It just helps with the recognition of this channel and exposure of this channel to other players. Thank you all. Thank you again earlier today to a couple of you who were kind enough to do donations our way. Herb Gregory, thank you for your donation earlier today. Much appreciated. I'm glad that came through. That was great. I did have another one come in, but I just can't see it right now for whatever reason. It's not showing. But thank you guys for being there for us. Appreciate it. And we're going to be here tomorrow morning. I'll be on again tonight for 2 more shows. My day isn't done. It's Monday. I'm on Traveling with Bruce at 7 and 8 o'clock tonight Eastern Time. 7 o'clock for sponsor members. 8 o'clock for any of you if you want to hang out with me on my other channel. We're going to talk cruise ship travels and all that sort of stuff. But again, it's another wild and wacky day on the markets that we have survived, or we've tried to survive. And let's hope we get a better day tomorrow. And we'll see what the market wants to bring us. It's all we can do. We just we come back and do it again. We'll talk about writing options and see what we can do to bring in money. And congratulations to those of you today who were able to pull off some options trades and bring in some profits. Way to go! You're becoming smarter at this. You're becoming better at it, and I love how this is working out for you. GameStop tomorrow. We'll find out what happens. It's sitting at 78. Was sitting 78.97, up 90 cents in the aftermarket. It's cheap. There's no doubt about it in my book. But you know what? Today's market is today's market. I can't change today. I can only deal with it going forward tomorrow, and we'll continue to do so. So there you have it, everybody. In the meantime, please stay healthy out there. Be kind to your fellow man, and hang on through the crazy nights and what have you, the crazy days. Thank you for the 183 thumbs ups now. A whole bunch just came in. Appreciate those thumbs ups, everybody. Again, you take care. We'll see you tomorrow morning before we get this all started. See where this market wants to take us tomorrow. I'll be here. I got I wouldn't be anywhere else. Thank you all. Have a pleasant evening. Have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow morning, unless you catch me over at TWB later tonight. Okay, bye for now, everybody.